Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, I have a question. This is Jan.
Yes.
Can you talk about time and relationship to time? Like it feels like I just sat down to meditate with you and it's over. And somehow that brings up real emotion in me. And I'm just processing how fast everything is going.
Well, the class was no longer or shorter than any other class. And I mean, look, time, as I say all the time, is a very precious thing. What you do with your time, how you spend it, whether you use it consciously or unconsciously, depends upon your need inside. And when you start using time consciously, two things can happen. You spend a weekend at a retreat, and it could feel like 5 years, and then it's over in the blinking of an eye. A class is the same way. It could feel like hours, and yet it's over in the blinking of an eye. And time is kind of an illusion. If you try to analyze it and try to figure it out, then it's really an illusion. But if you say, okay, I am given X amount of time on this planet. And if I learn to use that time consciously, and by that I mean building an inner life that connects with God, spirit, the time becomes really precious. It's like a diamond, it's like a great jewel that we're given. And we're given this period of time on the earth to learn how to transform the difficulties, the suffering, the pain, and all of that other stuff that goes on here into a spiritual life. And then we have a deep respect for time, because that is truly this amazing gift that we're given. It's called life. And we have X amount of time, to take care of learning how to connect with God, to have a spiritual life. It could seem like forever. I can say it takes a lifetime to do that, and it would seem like forever. And yet, time is basically infinite. It has no limitation. Continues on endlessly until every single being on the planet Earth becomes spiritually enlightened. And then time has lost its purpose. So I don't know how to figure it out. I can't analyze it. In fact, I can't, and my brain isn't big enough to analyze anything, frankly. To me, what's real is experiential, arriving at a place inside yourself where time is infinite and time is also the blinking of an eye, where the life we're given is infinite. It's also the blinking of an eye. And it's what we do with that time that really is significant. And if we use it consciously, then every second, every moment becomes precious. So I'm not sure that answers your question, but
Thank you, Stuart. It answered very, very much. Thank you.
and people, what frightens people? Getting old, dying, it scares the hell out of everybody. It's so fractious, people inside themselves, they live like shells, protecting themselves against everything in life. and only because their time isn't used consciously. If you start using it consciously, there's nothing to protect yourself against. You just grow. You use it to develop a chakra system that connects you to higher energy in the universe, to God, to ultimately spiritual enlightenment, and to freedom, if you'll pardon my Bronxese, from all of this bullshit that goes on in the world. That has no purpose but to test whether or not human beings are willing to work on themselves to the place where they can connect with God, or they get so freaked out that they spend their lives hiding under a bed, creating a shell around themselves to protect themselves from all the madness that goes on in the world. And one of the great signs of mastering time is the heart is open. We live here with gratitude, with love, with compassion. I mean, the things they talk about all the time. We live here like that on the highest possible level of what it means to be human. And the gift of time enables us to develop this inside ourselves. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? The development of a chakra system enables each and every one of us to attract a situation that like this, that just went on for the last 45 minutes, 15 minutes or so. And it's a very special gift. Never to be taken for granted. I know as soon as people take this work for granted, I take their name off of my list. I'm just tired of it. I really mean it. It's been 50 years now. And after all this time, it's so precious what we do here. And when people start taking it for granted and not coming and not showing up, you know, and you know, I mean, the gift of Rudy left to all of us is this meditation practice. And with all the stories about him and all the folk tales that you hear and all this stuff, nothing gets close to what he bequeathed each and every one of us. That's this meditation practice. Because this double breathing exercise makes it all work. It's probably one of the most brilliant things I've ever come across in my life, because it not only works with one or two chakras, it works with the entire system of a human being. And we're given by the universe the gift of time to use this technique to create a connection between ourselves and God, and to ultimately attain a state of enlightenment. And to take it for granted it's almost borderline silly. And people took Rudy for granted, you know. Oh, he was going to live to 84, blah, blah, blah. told me that, he told a lot of his students that. And then he's 45 years old, and one day he was gone. And when he was gone, it left a big hole inside of a lot of people who really never listened to him carefully when he said, learn what I have to teach. One day I won't be here. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I hope it's clear what I'm talking about, because it does evolve around time. This precious gift that every one of us is given, which also synonymously could be called life. This incredible gift that we are given. And then it depends on each and every one of us how we use that time, what we do with it, what determines our need inside and what we want to do with that need to grow every day of our lives. It's certainly not fanatical. I always like to say that because, oh, you're a member of a cult, you're this, you got a guru, it's all bullshit, It's what we do at that time that is so significant. And the ability to discern between, Maya, illusion, and where illusion takes one, and where deep spiritual practice takes. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, just so I'll bother you with it again. Tomorrow, the last two of my tantras are going to be posted on the website. And I hope you all read them and learn something from them. I've certainly learned a lot, and I think Bob and Kenny have learned a lot. Bob wrote me an email asking me to continue writing them, which really isn't a bad idea, but I'm kind of a little tired. I need to, you got to go to the gas station and replenish a tank. And I have to go to the writing gas station and get my tanks replenished so I can continue to create these things. Otherwise, you start just repeating yourself over and over, and I don't want to do that. Does anyone else have a question I'd like to ask? All right, if there are no more questions, then there'll be meditation Sunday. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here, being part of this, for making these classes possible. God bless you all. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Sunday.